Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Khairul Nazmi bin Adam and welcome to my video review.
A few years ago, you founded a company that manufactures meatless burgers. Your product is now sold in stores worldwide, but you've recently received awful news. 3 unrelated people in one city died after eating your burgers. The police concluded that a criminal targeted your brand, injecting poison into your product in at least 2 grocery stores. The culprit used an ultra-fine instrument that left no trace on the packaging, making it impossible to determine which products were compromised. Your burgers were immediately removed from the 2 stores where the victims bought them. The deaths are headline news. The killer is still at large, and sales have plummeted.
This review is based on a video on YouTube posted by TED about ethical dilemma, the burger's murder, by George Cyril and Christine Ledwith. The video is basically a documentary designed by Patrick Smith, where he is an animator, director, and storyboard artist. He uses video as an easy to understand plot and learn from it. On the basis of a video of the Meatless Burger Corporation, before the corporation began to be famous in the worldwide, this meatless burger had killed 3 innocent citizens, not closely connected. This meatless burger business has thus established some of the most ethical approaches that can protect the company and align customers, investors, and employees' preferences. What can be linked to the ethical dilemma about this video is when these companies state 3 ethical strategies, of which the first option is to do nothing. The second option is to pull the products from the grocery stores citywide and destroy them. Or the third option is to pull and destroy the product worldwide. In making this decision, there is an ethical dilemma in which companies also have trouble making ethical choices that mitigate the legal risks to their companies, staff, and consumers. It is also difficult and demanding to decide between legislative proposal and to balance the interests of the shareholders. Back at the video in the YouTube, James Burke and the reaction of Johnson & Johnson to the killing of Tylenol could see that the tactic of eliminating capsules from shops across the country, in which more than $250 million is lost. It was not a choice that first improved profitability. This move has the potential to save other people's lives, so the aversion to the losing dollars must be considered carefully. Many believe that Burke's decision definitely followed making the correct thing norm in this scenario. Founder of the Berkeley Strategic Advisors LLC, Constant E. Berkeley, developed a comprehensive tree design to help corporate leaders explore the connection between ethics and law. Berkeley notes out that Deciding the making the correct thing is every case start by questioning if the suggested move is appropriate. If someone's strategy conforms with the law, then ask whether the choice would boost the value of the shareholders. The concept of value for the shareholders is not restricted to growing business profit itself, but also with the wider best interest of the corporation, along with the advantages to many other shareholders. The impact on all shareholders are considered whenever the next problem on the decision tree is questioned. Is the planned behavior ethical? As a researcher, you must recognize these issues, such as what are the issues that emerge, and how do they impact the companies and the shareholder groups. What is the best answer and solution to a problem like this? What tactic would add value to the company and its shareholders? After preparing a strategy, you can review the applicable legislation. There could be rules or regulations or even legislative proposals that will have an effect on the approach you already created. When you have formulated a plan that conforms with the law, you make an ethical review. To do this, there are 4 points to follow ethical choices. First of all, you need to clarify the ethical dilemma. Secondly, it is important to recognize the shareholders involved. Thirdly, you need to evaluate the choices and how each shareholders group is impacted. This research is very valuable to the shareholders. And finally, you have to make decisions based on your analysis. You can use the tests mentioned in the video, which are utilitarian tests, newspaper tests, family tests, and mental tests to support your analysis the ethics of possible outcomes. Utilitarianism in moral ethics is a concept derived from the English theorists and economists John Stuart Mill and Jeremy Bentham, who act rightly if they aim to maximize happiness, and wrongly if they tend to create the opposite of satisfaction. But happiness is not applied only to the individual, but also to all those who are affected by it. Therefore, utilitarian differs from the ethical philosophy of making good or bad actions based on individual intention, because, according to the utilitarian, it is possible that the right thing can be achieved with the bad reasons. However, utilitarian can distinguish between the right to praise or to criticize an individual and whether the behavior is appropriate. The newspaper test is objectively beneficial because it allows elected officials to reflect about how they behave in the outside of environment. Everyone tends to rationalize your actions, typically by beginning their argument with what they want to do, but instead offering reason to explain your actions. Of course, your action and your statements are also scrutinized by the community. There is also a strong likelihood that your activities will be scrutinized by the media and general people. Family test can be said to be the response of our family members to the action we take. For the example, we want to start a career by working, but our family has a negative response that we need to pursue high education. Every decision we make will be reacted to whether it is good or bad. For the mental test, it is the community's reaction to the people we admire or love. We do this test to the surrounding community and ask a simple question, namely, if he does such a thing, what is your reaction? That view is taken into account as mental tests. All of these models and tests have to be carried out in order to get responses from all aspects of life, regardless of friends, family, or society. As a result of this test, we should all assume that anything we do must have some critics. Some will be disappointed with the outcome, and some will be pleased. All of this should be checked for the outcome of the analysis we did. So from my point of view, as in our lives, every choice we make has its pros and cons. However, every choice we make has a reason why we choose it. Maybe we choose a good reason for us, good for others, or maybe not. This ethical dilemma occurs when it involves others in the choices we make, whether it is good or bad for ourselves or others. As the example shown by the video in YouTube, we can see these options will affect meatless burger companies, employees, buyers, and investors. Come to think of it, are the results chosen satisfactory to all parties? Burke's decision made was a humanitarian trait he possessed. Not everyone has such a nature, and the decision, even if at first it is not profitable, but for the good of human beings, the decision is a very brilliant decision. As we can see, making a decision is a very difficult thing, especially involving many people. The decision-making process is an art and science, and hence allow you to strike a fine balance among policies, law, and ethics, as you can see from the meatless burger and Tylenol poisons situation. It is hard to even get single thing correctly, yet alone all three, particularly where decision makers confront economic, time, and other resources. The video has taught me many things in our lives, which we must be wise in making the right decisions. When the decision we make involve others, we need to think about the impact on others as well. We must not be greedy and selfish. We must both accept the good and bad of the chosen result. Therefore, we must discuss together in choosing the right decision for our common good. Before I end this video, I will put the link about the burgers murder video posted in the YouTube at the description below for your future references. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.